Hello fellow crafters and welcome to Max DM Crafting. Once in a while I like to look in my drawer of memories, and this time I found a beautiful kit from Games Workshop. Three kits, wood kits, that actually was in my drawer for many years. There is a double problem though. One of the three trees was actually used for my windmill, diorama. So basically this is stuck there and I don't want to ruin my previous diorama for make this one. So I will fill that spot with something else. Actually, I decided to fill the empty space with a pergola, like a gazebo, with this growing plant. I was very inspired by Elena Moschioni. I don't know if you are familiar with, the Italian style of modeling stuff. And basically we are very specialized in, diorama level stuff for presepe, Sacred Family stuff. And not so much about skirmish game, more around realistic diorama level stuff. Elena Moschioni made this beautiful house with this wisteria growing on the walls. Basically, I was very inspired. Check it out. Check Il Gruppo dei Minimondi on Facebook. It's full of diorama level stuff, guys. So the amount of inspiration is unbelievable. That being said, I tried to make myself wisteria, and if you want to discover how I did it, just take a seat and wait for the video. The second problem was, those leaves in the kit, they were too much, like comics, too much funny in my opinion. So I decided to modify the kit with some new clumps, new foliage. Now it's time for something not so dark, but take a seat, relax, and crack on! Sometimes it's really nice to get out of my comfort zone and dedicate myself to small projects with a not too dark look. I saw a wonderful work on the Minimondi group, Il Gruppo dei Minimondi, on Facebook, and I decided to try my hand at making the climbing wisteria on a wooden pergola for the first time. As a base for my bucolic piece, I used what was left of my old woods kit by Citadel. I had even torn it apart for storage reasons. After reassembling it, I started to create the base for the pergola. As you can see, I used the bottom of a plastic cup as a template. It was the perfect size to enter the circular space. The base will consist of stone bricks created with my usual pen technique and adding a little depth with my screwdriver. The construction of the pergola was very simple. A little balsa wood cut to the right sides, and after increasing the wood grain with the pen, I created the supports with 4 square section toothpicks glued with superglue. I have kept this small MDF enclosure since the day of my dark cathedral. You can find the project showcase of my cathedral among my old videos. They look perfect for an old iron fence. After cutting them to the right size, I glued them together. Now I attach the pergola to the floor, using a couple of clamps during the drying time. For a perfect match to my piece, I used aluminum foil and started sculpting my wisteria. I used wooden sticks as support for my air dry clay, while for the thinner branches I opted for green stuff. At the end, I sealed the whole thing with PVA glue very diluted with water. At this point, finally, I try a new technique. I'm using thin twine and colored aquarium sand. This stuff is really very cheap, found in cheap shops and cost less than €1 for a supply that will last a lifetime. I use a few drops of super glue on a piece of string, dip the string in the sand and that's it. You can also color white sand if you don't have lilac sand. The base coloring was a lot of fun. I used a brown scale from the darkest to a beige brown, and then everything else was just flocking. Now, for the fronds of the trees, I use lichens. I clean and prepare them by dipping them in very diluted PVA glue, and then I sprinkle them with mixed green powder. Unfortunately, I have not been able to afford the purchase of a grass applicator, so I proceed by spreading my herb from above. I start with the brightest shade of green and gradually go on apply darker layers. Once dry, I applied the lichens to the branches with tacky glue. In the end, I sealed it all by spraying very diluted PVA glue. Once dry, they will be rock hard. It's time to color the pergola. First I apply the black primer, then I proceed with the usual brown scale. I use a metal gun for the small fence, contaminating it with brown to give the impression of wear. At the end I apply the wisteria flowers by positioning the pergola upside down. The flowers are hard as rock and a drop of super glue is enough to fix them. A few lichen cut to size, a few drops of tacky glue and that's it.
I'm really very satisfied with the result. First of all, it was a fun and very new project. Second, I'm always very satisfied when I manage to empty my drawer of unfinished works. The Citadel Woods really deserved to be completed. It's such a richly detailed piece. The fact that the trees and the pergola are modular gives me a lot of possibilities to play in the future. Awesome!
Okay guys, this is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe this channel. Remember, this channel exists because you are sponsoring, you are supporting it. If you want to support this channel, please consider to join the Patreon family. You can also make a little donation through PayPal. You can imagine to offer me a coffee, just a little coffee. For you is just $1-2. For me is all the support in the world. Also, check the links in the description box below. Those are Amazon affiliate links. So if you buy through those links, nothing will change for you guys. Just a little percentage, very little one, will help this channel. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy crafting!